I don't wanna go to work, I just wanna chill and play all day. Look 'em dead in the face and say, I wish I could just be still asleep while you work.
Welcome to the Jobs Blow podcast with Briana and Josh.
The podcast for dreamers with day jobs.
We are so glad to be back here at the Comic Strip Live for yet another inspiring story from someone pushing their dream job.
Yes, Josh, because as the saying goes, when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
You see what you did there? You rewrote that whole thing.
I did.
Very
I rewrote
good.
that.
Was
we were
really
getting
good.
bored with
it. We were
it.
getting bored, and that was, you see, you're such
Although
a good
you
writer.
did say instead of pursuing, pushing their dream job, I think.
I didn't. Did I say pushing? Pursuing,
right.
pushing. It's all good. How are you doing,
However
Briana?
you get there, Josh.
How are you?
I'm good. Do you like my new glasses?
I do. They're Warby
Thank
Parker,
you.
not a sponsor.
I literally just picked them up.
They look great.
Thank
you tried those on at the store that week.
I
Yeah.
did.
They look really good.
indeed.
How you doing? How you doing this week?
I'm good. I officially got hired on at Michel Augustin,
All
and I
right.
start the 15th of January.
As a full-time?
Yes.
And our sponsor, we love Michelle
We
Augustin.
do.
You got to try these cookies.
Yes.
They're so good.
Our
And
guest is super excited about those
she,
cookies.
the dark chocolates. She's
Yes.
so
Take
excited.
Take the dark with a pinch of salt.
I had a good and bad week. I did not get the camp job, but like screw it. They were just messing with me anyway.
You're so much better than
I am.
camp
But I did
work.
have a good TV interview this week, pitching some shows. So
That's exciting.
That's it too. And our guest today has a special voice concoction drink tea thing that's going to help me with my voice issues. Hopefully,
When you go to perform, Josh performs at Drunk Shakespeare, an off-Broadway show, and he goes right from here. So
Yes.
before we go down any more of the road about Josh and I, so many more important things to talk about, like our guest, singer, songwriter, and actress Taylor Dayne. Who is here today, and we've titled the show Tailor Made for Success.
I like it.
I have a feeling someone
Hi.
else probably did that at some point.
Tailor made, yes. That's gotten around. That's gotten far.
It's fine.
How are you guys?
We're good. We're
Fabulous.
good. And
This is so cool.
Thank you so much for blessing
great
us with your
room.
We're in
presence.
the booth. We're here at Comic Strip, and we're here with. Now we have a real New Yorker, as Taylor is, a Long Islander. I'm a New Yorker, and what you now consider yourself a transplant New Yorker.
Yes, still who has an Ohio accent.
Ohioan accent. Yeah.
I've been here 25 years and I cannot get rid of this thing.
Well, and I've not been 25 years, and I can't get rid of my New York. So it is.
So before we start, I just want to say, because I think when people are in the presence of celebrity, they don't always act sane. Right. You feel like you have a connection. I feel like I've had a connection to you, but I know we don't. But your music came out when I was in high school, and it was a soundtrack to my life. In fact, when I went to my freshman year of college, we made a mixtape, and I chose Love Will Lead You Back. Ooh. And it was for this douchebag that I liked at the time. And I realized now that the only good taste I had was in music, not in men at that time.
That's funny. I haven't heard it quite put like that, but I love it. No, I think that's great, and I can certainly relate.
So
See, and for me, I was a little younger than Briana because she's like an old woman, you know.
Hey,
I'm just kidding. She comes after me
I know.
every
We're both
friggin'
Pisces,
week.
by the way.
Do you
Taylor.
remember like when Nick Cannon called what's her name?
Mariah?
Not Mariah. God knows, not to her face. He called Keisha Cole. I think he called her like elderly. What? She was going with. He goes, well, you're an elder compared to him. She just, I think those were fighting words. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, Taylor, you and I are both Pisces. I just want you to know another connection.
Was that
we have.
March, April?
March.
Oh, see,
February,
for me,
March,
for me,
yeah.
I was a little younger. I mean, like I was maybe middle school more for me with your music. But your music is the kind of thing where you knew every word to it, and you didn't know consciously, no internet at the time, and all these that it was all the same artist. You're like, oh, I know every one of her songs. Like that's how I learned other.
That's true, though. When you think about it, I mean, we had no playlists. We didn't. We
Yeah.
had the radio.
Right.
We had
The radio.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we waited for videos. They weren't accessible
No, it's
everywhere.
astonishing
It wasn't,
how
yeah.
crazy and how much we've grown and how technology has
Right.
changed so dramatically since. I mean, my first single came out in 1988. So do the math. So I can't imagine not doing a playlist today. So we stream everything. It's an extraordinary difference.
Well, I'm sure the whole business model is. You did an interview I saw
on
where you
its
were
flip.
saying how like it used to be singles in the 70s, and then it was albums in the 80s and 90s. Now it's like back to this like singles model.
Well, if you remember, yeah, sure. Think about that. We listen to, we're all New Yorkers. Now you're injected or whatever you want to call yourself. Here you are, a New Yorker transplant. So I would have to say that it was WABC, right? Radio.
Mm-hmm.
We were listening, and I think that was the early 70s for me, the 70s, and it was just all single related, you
Right.
know? I mean, I bought my first record, I guess that would be the Beatles or the Stones or something. But yeah, it was always that single and that jukebox, and we just put the
Sure.
the money in, and it was so. I think it's kind of cyclical that way, and on some level, and yet at the same time to invest in an artist. Of course, in the deep '70s, think about the artists that you just couldn't live without the artwork on there.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, and
Artwork
also
was so important.
And also,
On
it
the
was
album
just
covers, yeah.
the touring, and it's just changed so much. I mean, now that is where artists make their money,
I make
right?
my money on the road.
Right, on the road. So that's a good let's
And,
segue.
no, it's just, and it is interesting though about like the lyrics and the music and the familiar. It's on in the background, and you're singing the words, and you're just like it's like in you.
Yeah.
And it's because it was on the radio and driving home from school, all these different things. So that's my connection, and obviously your voice is so memorable and distinct too. So it plays out like that, and I'm clearly
and you're generational because my dad loves you. I told him I was
Wow.
interviewing you. He's a huge Love Will Lead You Back as well. Apparently, I get
wow.
it from him. And then I told you I was showing Ella videos, and Ella was first she was just captivated with your hair because
the hair
she's
goes-
seen pictures of her mother.
I
but
should bring that hair back.
You should. The
should.
the
I
crimped
probably
bangs
will.
were everything.
It was all of that.
But she even turned to me and was like, when we listened to Love Will Lead You Back, she was like, her voice. And I just.
Thanks, Ella.
Yeah, she's in
back
the booth
there.
too.
I'm
here.
an I'll Be Your Shelter fan. So
You
Yeah,
liked
Shelter.
her faster stuff.
Yeah.
Give me a ballad.
Yeah.
Okay.
You like Love Will Lead You Back over Tell It to My Heart.
I do.
Well,
I do.
You know what? Performing it live, if people ask me all the time, like, what is your favorite song? What do you perform live? What do you, I'm like, guys, over the years, you just, it takes a different life, on its own. And I do not get bored. I mean, to watch an audience transform with each song, as you say, it's a soundtrack of people's lives. But I have to say, doing Shelter live is real fun. And Tell It to My Heart is super fun, but Love Will Lead You Back just brings it all home.
So
It's like a home. It's like that. It's that
Yeah.
hit.
Taylor,
Yeah,
did
it's
you
that-
fall in the R&B category back then? Because you
Yes.
did have that soulful.
Yes,
I mean, it
yes.
was.
I'll Always Love You was, of course, I'll Always Love You. That's a huge wedding, if you will. I mean, these are the songs that just translated into memories for people. But yes, I was nominated for R&B, female R&B vocalist, female, actually not female, R&B single, and it did very well. It was what really broke me in the urban and R&B market. Yeah.
All right. Well, so we're going to jump into. We like to set this up in an HR format, which we call ourselves humor resources.
Guys, let's see this. I mean, have I ever gone out for a regular
Well,
job?
that's what
we
that's
wanna
the
know. We
question.
wanna know.
So first
Jump in.
question is, what is your job title? What do you
call yourself?
I mean, I introduced you as singer, songwriter, actress. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can read on my social media. It says sometimes we start with mom because mine
That's the
are turning
best
18.
job.
But it's a great job, and God knows it's thankless at times. But Ella, I can tell you, I can feel you behind me. No, being a mom is insane. But I would say entrepreneur, businesswoman. I would say yes, of course, singer, songwriter, actress. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
And dream job? What?
Or was this your dream job?
Yeah, guys, this was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it wasn't really a job. It's not. It's my career and it is my profession.
Mm-hmm.
I am a professional artist, if you will, which in the U.S. I have to say is the more difficult thing to say when you're a professional artist or not actress, I guess, because it's just differently supported than in other countries. So, but yes, I am a professional, and not entertainer, I guess, artist. Yeah.
Artist.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, and since this show is Jobs Blow, we always like
Jobs
to
blow.
we
I
always
mean, where do you go with that, kids?
we always like to ask
Yes.
if you've ever had a job that blew, and it doesn't have to be a job. It could be a moment in a job that you were just like, "What am I doing?"
Oh my God! Of course, being a receptionist. My God, I'm like, what does it matter what I look like when you're a receptionist? You're just answering phones. What does it matter what I wear? I was a waitress for a week.
We've had a lot of days. We've had people that did a job.
Yeah,
for
even maybe 5 days. If those are the bad jobs, if that's the bad stuff, but God knows I've been one of the fortunate ones. I'm trying to find wood. My career started pretty early. I started, but just remember drinking and alcohol and being in clubs was legal here in the 80s at 18. So it's not
Right.
21. So I was in the clubs quite early. I was in the clubs usually sneaking in at 16, but
Wow.
by 18 I could professionally work and get paid in a club.
How far were you from the city?
I lived in, well, I grew up in Baldwin and Freeport area.
So
And
what
that's
is
like
that?
South
Moved
Shore,
around.
Long Island. So what's that? 25-minute, 30-minute
Train?
Train.
Yeah, it's definitely a 30,
Okay.
40 minute
Well,
train.
that's easy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would have lost my mind as your mother, though, knowing you were going in. But
They didn't
But
give, nobody
parents were
thought-
so
they
different
didn't
back
give a
then.
shit.
They didn't, right?
Oh my God.
I'm surprised. Like I just no. I mean, you would just went and did, and I mean, if she even know I took a train, it would be amazing. But you know, the first place that I really went to see a concert was Nassau. You know, was Nassau Coliseum.
Right.
That existed.
What was your first concert?
Boston.
Wow, classic rock.
Come on, more than a feeling.
Oh yeah, no.
I was
classic
probably
rock.
14, and I was just. I know one of our parents dropped us off, and I was like, "We'll just meet you." How do you meet people?
Yeah.
We'll meet you for the ride. There was no phones. There was no cell. There was no
it was,
text.
It was location. Like, I'll meet
was
you
like,
by the
"I'll meet you
pole out
a
by the
po-"
front.
Exactly.
Did you meet them?
Of course. How the
did you
hell
find
did we
them?
grow up?
don't
I
know.
look at people. How did we live?
Yeah.
How did we survive cars? How did we
Taylor,
survive
multiple
anything?
people in my family fell out of
Dude,
moving
I don't
cars.
know.
Moving cars with our parents in them.
Dude, smoking, drinking. I don't even understand. Big, like these cars were like ships.
Yeah.
You got to
The
admit
big
it, right?
Cadillacs, right?
It's just unbelievable.
That's so
When I was
funny.
like, "Mom, meet me here," it's still the same amount of people. There 30. It could have been 10,000 people, and we still end up meeting.
Yeah,
up.
look at your phone now and how many messages you send to someone when they're picking you up.
It's
I'm right
crazy.
here. I'm by the booth. Stand outside by the. It's ridiculous. Just meet outside. I'll meet you
Yeah.
and pick you
We
up.
rarely
No.
think much anymore. I'll give you that. We've dummied down. No offense, guys, but we have.
We have. It's terrible. So Baldwin, I was telling you before, but
Baldwin Senior High.
It looks like they're selling the studio that you in Baldwin that maybe you first recorded.
Was
or
it in
something?
Baldwin?
Or was it Freeport?
Well,
Maybe?
where I first recorded or rehearsed?
I just saw the article recently.
I
Maybe
have
it was
no
rehearsed.
idea what you guys are
yeah.
talking about.
Okay.
But I believe you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so
Whatever.
Taylor, we're
I
gonna.
mean, there was a rehearsal studio because so when I was in junior high and high school, there was the De Benedetto family, and they had like 8 or 9 kids in their family,
Right.
and one of the older.
No, go keep going.
Oh, okay. One of the older siblings opened up a rehearsal studio down on Grand Avenue
Right.
in Baldwin, and I just remember that you just noticed the cool people would be like hanging out. Like one day I'm going to get into that. I want to see what's in there.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon you heard like Joan Jett was in there. I mean, these were the artists that kind of came out of Long Island, right? And then Joan was rehearsing in there, and then this little band called the Stray Cats
Yeah.
would be in there, and I'm like, I want to be in there because that just seems like, so what's in there? And then eventually, I think I was 17. It was my last year of high school, and I met this drummer. I was sending out a demo tape, as we all do.
Right.
And he was rehearsing, and they had a band in there, and they were rehearsing in the studio. So if that's the studio you're talking about, that was a rehearsal studio. God knows I played Galactica in there. I played Pac-Man and everything else.
Oh, my God.
And it was the very first band I was really, truly in. And I was
Yeah.
17, 18 years old.
Right.
And it could be that band, but if, when you know the history of Long Island and New York, I mean, Lou Reed lived around the corner from me. Wow. Patty Benatar.
Did you
lived-
interact
worked
with
here.
them before?
Well, no, Lou was in another generation
Right.
and genre completely. But I mean, I just have to tell you that, I mean, yeah, he lived in like around the corner in Freeport. I just, you just realize this later. And then as you're growing up, you start hearing these names.
Right.
But we had something in the water out there, didn't we?
Yeah. So we want to talk a little bit about what you're working on right now, and then we'll take it back and kind of
Sure.
go through the whole evolution of your career. So right now, you launched a book last year, and
Yeah, my memoir came out last year. It's called Tell It to My Heart.
great
Whoa.
title.
Yeah.
Great marketing title too, right? Like,
Yes.
just keep hitting the thing that is what people know
Well, yeah.
and title it and.
It just felt so appropriate. I mean,
Right.
it could have been Love Will Lead You Back, but at the same time, it really is Tell It to My Heart. I mean, it just encompasses so much, and it really felt right.
Right. Well, and also I feel like
I'm so associated with it.
Right.
Beyond.
and then you also have a tour coming up this summer.
I'm on tour all the time.
Right.
Like, you
So
know,
talk
look,
to us about what
we
you
were
do.
talking about a little bit. This, like, as an artist, I mean, you're so accessible now on some levels, and people hire you privately. I mean, it's just quite extraordinary. But I'm starting the Ladies of the 80s. I put a package together, and I produced a tour with starting this January, the end of January, with I'll have Jody Watley, Lisa, and Taylor Dayne. It's going to be super fun, guys. It's a lot of hits, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And around here, it's going to be in Staten Island Club, right? Or
we
venue?
start at Westbury.
Yeah, Westbury.
Okay,
in Long
Westbury.
Island.
And then
okay.
we go to in New York specifically. Geez, let me think. I know we're at Mohegan Sun. I know we're in Atlantic City. I know we will be at. There is a place in Staten Island.
Okay.
There is a performing arts center there. Is that what you're
I
talking
think
about?
that might be what it was.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Because I was looking for myself.
Oh well, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, East Coast. For
Yeah.
Sure. We're kicking it. We'll kick it off, but we're kicking it off. Believe it or not, in Louisiana. In
Really? Which city?
New Orleans, and then we'll be in Mississippi.
Nolans. All right.
Nolans.
And then you tour on your own as well.
Oh yeah.
And so how big, like, are you ever home? And where is home for you? New York or LA?
I'm LA, right?
You
I've been
are.
LA now. I went in 90. Well, I was doing tons of video and everything out there, and TV, obviously, most appearances that was out there, and starting when I first released my music. And I did a lot of videos out there. And then TV and film, as you noticed, some of the acting and things I was getting into. I was hired by Roseanne to go on to the Roseanne show.
Oh, really?
And this was during, after you saw this break I started doing STAG. I was doing some features. I was really kind of focused on that, and it was really interesting. So I went out there for a 4-month, casting, guest starring in the show. And by the time I got there, Roseanne was going through the battle with her network of saying, I think we're canceling the show. I'm like, how do you cancel the Roseanne show?
Yeah.
And yet now
Was
I'm
this the
here for
first
4 months.
iteration or the
First.
Okay.
But at the very end. So it was like, but still, it'd been on
97.
like 100.
Yeah.
This was
Right?
97, 98. Yeah.
I'm a freak with dates.
No, it was
What
so
was
true.
the arc you were going to play?
Believe it or not, John Goodman was going to have an affair.
Wow.
Break the marriage up. And I'm like, me? And she goes, oh, you're going to be perfect for this, Taylor.
My gosh.
Oh my God, that's
yeah.
That
that's
would have
amazing.
been crazy.
It would have been crazy. But, of course, then I ended up staying in listen, the weather, I just stayed. And a few years later, I had my kids, so it just made sense. So
What
I've
about like
stayed.
Miami, other areas?
I have a
New
place in
Orleans?
Miami as well.
Oh, you do?
I do.
All right, so you're all over the country.
Getting over
Yeah.
it. Well,
And
I was bi-coastal here for a long time, but the kids kind of, once they're in school and, you feel like a mama bird that's got to get home to the nest. Believe me, I'd be in a lot more places.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
I don't think we even mentioned that this woman sitting across from us has sold over 75 million albums. I mean, that's like a big.
I haven't done
that's
75 million anything.
No, I was trying to. I think sandwiches, Josh. I was thinking you may have
Probably
eaten 75 million
You're right.
sandwiches.
No, you're right.
5 million
You're right.
sandwiches. I believe that's probably possible for a lot of us.
If you're looking at me, you could tell.
Look,
it's
I was
definitely
trying to.
sandwich.
I was trying to crunch numbers at home, and
crunching
I was crunching numbers,
kids.
and I don't think I've done anything. But you did tell us what we have 75 million cells in our body or something. So
Well, they were trying to they're beating on each other's guys. So I'm just trying to give each other a little love here. So I said, oh, you have 75 million cells in your body easily, probably 5 billion.
she
So,
lifts us up.
Those numbers add up.
Next to your next
Listen,
song.
a lot of days I don't feel like I sold 75 million anything. Listen, it's about, remember Jobs Blow? It's about getting up there every day and redefining and grabbing whatever you consider your title and readdressing it, honestly,
Right.
looking at it.
And so, how about your daughters? Like, how are they about? Are they fans of your music? Are
That's
they?
funny how it comes. Like, I am a mom, right? I
Right.
have twins. They will be 18 in a couple of weeks.
Are they seniors in high school?
I have a boy and a girl.
Boy and a
Yeah,
girl.
they're
Boy and
seniors.
girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
boy and girl. Well, getting my son to say more than yeah. How was game? You were in state champion last night. We lost. I go, well, you sound tired. Yeah, I mean, my daughter's like, I don't know. I just don't feel good. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, Mom, I take full responsibility. Like, it's a whole jibber jab. And I'm like, I'd rather she go, yeah. Because I don't ever know what the truth is. But
Right.
yeah, they're astonishing. They're
Are
amazing.
they singers too?
They're both seniors, yeah.
Really?
Well, they came out of the womb the same time.
Yeah.
They decided to stay in class the same time. So yes, they're seniors and
Oh no, singers. Singers.
Oh,
Are
singers.
they artists, singers?
My daughter is a hell of an actress.
Mm-hmm.
She'll pursue that, and I'm very proud of her that way. My son does have an incredible voice,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not he's a brainiac. He loves finance. He loves making money. He likes calling the shots.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I tell them both, no matter what, you're both taking business classes. Doesn't even matter. As you as an actress, you have to take business courses. You have to understand what you're getting
And they
into.
they don't often teach that to performers, actors, musicians when you
Like
go to
how
school
to
for it, how to
survive.
survive.
Certainly
So it's
not
so
how
important.
in the day when we were because it wasn't a profession that people were like, here we are sitting in a comic club where some of the greatest comics in the world, but to build your profession other than knowing you could go do stand up and turn it into a TV series and turn it into a household name and morph that into managing that career. So I would have to agree with you. Yes, there's no yellow brick road to being an artist and an entertainer. No.
So let's turn it that way
Well, wait,
because
can I ask one second? Because she did an
They're
interview.
so bossy pants to each other.
No, just because she did an interview on Fox Business where you did talk about this very thing and how you got ripped off while you were in.
I don't know who hasn't.
Right. No, and it's because what Josh is saying. It is about not being educated in that space.
Look, I was 19, 20 years old. I was in college for music. I didn't take a minor in business, but even if I did, or entertainment business or entertainment law, it's a business that preys, just like sports do, on young talent that you get the money fast. It's not that you get the money fast or you don't get the money at all or you sign away so many things because there's this big dangling carrot in front of you. And not that I didn't work hard for that, because quite frankly, look, I produced my first record. We produced Tell It to My Heart. We found the song. We went out there. My father gave me the money for it. I know exactly how things started for me. And more than that, how many clubs I played in, how many different bands I was in. But at the same time, that never takes away the value of when you are. Yeah, I know you want to say something.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm
You know what
totally with you on it. Yeah.
It doesn't stop. Look, the work is always there. I'm a huge. The 10,000 hours is what you put into something like that. 1,000%. And greatness, being a great artist, that requires that. But the business component of it is so squashed because you're really fighting to be you think it's a dream. You think
Right.
it's like, people treat you that way as well.
And the thing that I can relate to in that regard is that when you're starting out and you get these opportunities, you have to take them, and you realize.
Yeah, but
that
it's
you don't have
also
a lot
not
of talent.
regulated. Like as an
Right.
athlete in schools, you're mostly discovered in schools. You're not
Right.
discovered in a play yard. You know
Right.
where I was discovered in a fucking club.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
F-bomb.
No, you
No,
can't.
we like the F-bomb.
I'm just saying, I didn't get discovered. I had to discover myself. You go out there and you do, you just want to be seen in a club.
Right.
You're just trying to build this reputation, right? That's what you do, one club at a time.
Right.
So in my case, when you hit the ball and you hit it out of a ballpark, you're going to have scouts coming down. They're going to want to chunk you. Yes, there's a lot of crazy stuff that went on, but the regulations whether it's basketball, baseball, they at least kept these guys' monies. Where they ended up losing it was if they brought a lot of things along with them.
Right.
And that is not uncommon in music as well. But what you're doing is you're signing away 8-9 years of your life prior to even having anything. And it's a bad banknote.
So how does that work with, songwriting and then because I know there's like this whole subdivision of like who owns the masters and then who owns the writing credits and then the percentages and no. Like,
Well, look at
it's
a song.
nuts. Yeah.
Here's what we all have to learn the same thing. I had to learn it the same way when I was doing fertility, just to have children. I was an educated woman, but even in my 30s, when you don't understand a topic, best we educate ourselves. And I was ignorant. So when it comes to this, a song is basically two parts, right? So you have somebody that's going to put it out and distribute it. You have somebody that owns. So when they distribute it, they're getting paid a percentage to put it out there in markets and whatever, and some have good distribution, some don't. Now we have so much DIY stuff. So, but in the day, mostly it was labels, right? It was all these, it was always, Arista was for me, BMG, those were the parent company,
Right.
Sony, and they still exist, obviously, and they have, smaller divisions of them or smaller, I guess, labels that have birthed off of them. But so you have that component. Then you have the actual song itself. So you have an artist that signs themselves to the big parent company because they're going to distribute, and what comes with that, and they're going to get the majority of the money. You're going to do a point system. But let's say I signed a 12-point deal and I had a record. I mean, you guys really care about this stuff?
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm fascinated.
Well, especially with all
Well, you have to learn how a pie is cut.
yeah.
Right.
And a pie is cut. I'm a performer. I'm an artist. If I wrote the song, then I'm a performer, and I also have a mechanical
Right.
agreement with the song. If I learn how to get with ASCAP or BMI and register it properly.
Right.
And then let's say there's 4 writers on a song. So you have 4 writers that get one half of that song because that's just publishing.
Right.
Then you have the PRO version, the side of it, which is the ownership of it's the splits. It's if you have a publisher involved. Otherwise, like Diane Warren has maintained her publishing throughout her entire career. Yeah, she's a ballin' lady, but she's also had a hell of a lot of hits.
So many.
Right.
So you have that component, but who keeps the biggest amount of the pie? So what you've heard more about is the Monetization Act, where money, because Congress has had his pie and fingers in a business that, quite frankly, you know, they're antiquated, they're old, not antiquated, they're old as hell. They don't make sense based on streaming. They don't make sense on how music is shared, and it's people aren't getting the value of what they put into their art. Art continues on, and yet it's used, and nobody's profiting off it except big business that basically can claim, own, and claim they own the masters.
Well, and that's in the creative business.
I mean, look,
we talk about that all the time.
We do too, from a comedy standpoint. You know, I mean, this is so not on the same level, but you know, it used to be like when I started, like you had to have a website. You couldn't just be a talent. You couldn't just be out there. You had to have, and this is kind of what I wanted to ask you too, is like, how did you evolve from the business side? Because you know, it used to be you had to have a website, and then it was now you have to have an album. You know, even if you're not a big name guy, you have to have an album.
Every
How do
business
you
is
stay relevant.
Look,
like that,
ask Justin Bieber what he did.
Or Taylor Swift just went through all that with her music.
Very different. Taylor had a major album, a label deal, right? A major label deal, and she probably did the allotment of amount of records. I don't know how many. Taylor sold. She could renegotiate her deal 100 times over. What I don't understand is how she's walking away from that deal and not entitled to her masters.
Right.
And if she only has it's called a re-record. It's a re-recording restriction. When I did it, I couldn't re-record my masters until 7 years till my deal was dead. She's only 1. But I mean, of course, she's 25 years old, 24, and she's at the height of, I had to wait 7 years to even touch a hit.
Wow.
And then to go back in the studio to re-record them identically, because you basically are in now business trying to compete with
yourself in that respect.
Well, you're not. You're competing with the
thing.
major label that basically owns the original version. So you want to be able to have a taste of that, especially if they're not going to be giving you any PR. You're not going to be getting a bigger chunk of the pie.
Right.
I mean, she's looking at this is completely business, and what she's also trying to tell you is that it's my intellectual property is my voice. My intellectual property is my art. How dare you? Why is government telling me that this property, it is not mine?
Right. Well, and the thing that she has going...
It will change. It's going to take a hellacious long time, but I'm sorry, Muddy Waters and all those guys went through it a hell of a lot harder.
Well, but what she has on her side now is social media. I mean, being able to put that out there and then have people, celebrities back you and support you.
You only ever heard these stories, like Billy Joel lost this for this, you know, kind of... You found out after, years later.
And it was an article.
Like Billy Joel, yes, one of the top artists of our time. And thank God he's toured for 100 years, and he'll be the first to say it. I'm 69 years old, and I can't believe people come to the show. No, I'm sorry, Billy. We come to 30 of your shows in a row.
Right.
Like, and in stadiums. Like, you're incredible.
Right.
But, yeah, we lost a lot.
Okay.
The days were different.
I have to ask a quick question.
Please.
How do you have, you're like you know how like the British sing and then you can't tell they're British? You have the best Long Island accent I've ever heard in my life, but it doesn't come through in your music. In fact,
oh, my Lanta, do you hear yourself?
You sound to me like you have like a little like an evolution of like a Patti LaBelle type voice to me. You know, like it's this R&B. It's your own take on that, and I feel like that's how music is too. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because I want to say it, that Christina Aguilera is like kind of a takeoff of your voice and your kind of that like soulful
that power
voice.
She was a little person too, who like when she opened her
still
mouth.
a little person.
But when she opened her mouth, you were like, "Holy hell!"
Shit, right?
Yeah.
But same thing with your voice.
Yeah.
You're just blown away by it. So
well,
did
the
you
women that
associate
paved that road for me. I mean, you could call that the Bette Midlers, the Barbara
I love
Streisands.
Bette Midler.
I mean, Bette was this little. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
sure.
she's
Peanut, too.
smaller than me.
Do you feel it come? Because I'm on stage, I have to push, and I have this. It's like that sound comes out of me.
Powers from.
Do you feel it like when you're singing?
Well, a lot of people don't know. I'm operatically trained.
Okay.
I went I studied classically. I had a maestro. I did study classically just so I could get the foundation. I knew I was going in the clubs. I knew what exactly exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
As you asked me that earlier, it was a very, very young age. So, and I mean, I talk about that in my TED Talk, and it was just, I was born to sing. It's a
If you
song I
haven't
wrote.
seen her TED
Yeah,
Talk,
yeah.
you should watch it because it's powerful, but she also like sings while
I do
she's
sing,
doing
and I feel
it.
like we're not singing for you. So I think what you're trying to say is it's so when a voice evolves, and if you get the glory, my voice is evolved, but it's also maintained. And my part was doing the work as a young artist to maintain that. So operatically trained, the type of exercising and the thing that I do to keep it together is very important.
And this
Very
tea
important.
that you're drinking here,
Well,
which
this
is,
isn't tea.
What is that?
This is bone broth. This is a bone concoction I do with MCT oil. This is vital proteins, collagen peptides. You probably smell the turmeric right now.
Yeah.
He's like,
is
I
it-
put a little vegetable consomme in there.
Is it old business managers in there who took some
The
money and
bones
just grind
of
them up?
music
Bones.
executives.
No, I think it's bovine. baby.
Okay, because we are running short on time because Taylor has some
Take
business.
your time. We have don't worry.
Are
we're
you
good.
sure? I don't want to.
Well, you're still weighing your
Well,
your
because
gate.
one of the things that I wanted to acknowledge, you brought up Diane Warren.
Uh-huh.
Diane Warren wrote Love Will Lead You Back,
did.
and I'm telling the audience because I know you know this, originally with Whitney Houston in mind.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Did you know that she also, her first hit, do you know who she wrote it for? Another Long Island gal.
No.
Laura Branigan.
Oh, really? Love Will
Yes,
Lead You Back?
Solitaire. No. Her first, Diane Warren's first hit was also in Laura Branigan's Long Island. I'm almost
I didn't
positive.
realize that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, believe me, I dug deep. I did. I was going deep.
Wait, can you just, I might be totally wrong on this, but tell it to my heart, right? I saw something online. I was like doing some research. Is it related to the Roxette song "Listen to My Heart"? I saw
No.
something like that.
Not even, no.
No. Okay, because when you typed that in, it came up like that. So when
Is it really?
Yeah, it was weird. It was like it was connected to you. I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. It's not even the same name. Like, yeah.
No.
Did you so when like how old were you when you started like writing some of these like the bigger hits? Like where were you at your life? Where were you in your career at that point?
20s.
Yeah.
20s, 30s. Yeah, I mean, listen, just, once you hit, I was, I'll never forget because I went back to my high school because we did the alum at Baldwin Senior High. So I got to go up there and sing the Hallelujah Chorus as a star, and that's, something you dream about. But, yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing. My first album came out, I was 24. That was the single, and it changed my world. And Arista only signed me for a single option album.
Really?
They signed me because we had a single, Tell It to My Heart. We backed it up with the same writer because he was like down to use this. It was Prove Your Love. I did a God Bless Clive came in with I'll Always Love You, changed my, I would say, people's perception of dance and music and just up tempo, and really said, wow, this woman, changed the perception of my vocal abilities. And that was profound. And then we did Don't Rush Me, and then we did, I mean, it just went on.
Who were your inspirations, if you had one or two that you could point out?
Listen, AM radio for me, so the first time I turned on anything, it could have been anybody from Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. Those are the obvious, but I'll go all the way to say is Robert Plant to, Steve Tyler. We have living legends living amongst us, walking amongst us that were definitely inspiration to me.
So another.
Inspiring.
Wait, can I ask one more quick question, follow up on that? If you could this is a question I've always thought, but if you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Ooh. Dead or alive?
Because I always thought like Freddie Mercury alive today would be creating the most incredible music, and unfortunately because he's not, like we're missing out on so many just like duets and all kinds of different
Freddie was
collaborations.
just- Oh, well, Freddie, David, but I mean, the list goes long. Prince.
Yeah.
I actually just read the article when you talked about meeting Prince.
Aretha, I mean, there's a lot of, look, Prince, these were men that, they were extraordinary artists. They also were deeply embedded in producing and writing. Tom Petty, what a great song, one of our great songwriters.
I also wanted to, going back to your book,
But I'm going to just say this now, Jimi Hendrix. I just want to sit in a room with him for like 7 years. Just listen to him play guitar and just, hum along. I don't know what we'd make from that. I mean, just listening to his authenticity.
That's a
and
great
just-
answer.
yeah.
yeah.
But going back to your book, I know in one of the interviews I listened to you give, you talked about as a child, when you were 5, your voice was so powerful that you were moved up to the 6th grade choir and given the lead.
I was put into the Glee Club.
the Glee Club.
So I was basically kindergarten. And so, yeah, they came around looking for their I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, like the cute little kid, too. And I was just, like, sitting down there, and I hated, like, school and the teacher, but we'd get around that piano, you know, and I would just find my place, my voice, and just shine. So when they came in and they were like, we just wanted a couple of kids on stage. Should look good for the 6th grade. And I was like, oh. I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. And they were like, oh, but maybe. And that woman ended up being such a mentor to me.
Really?
Mrs. Kasalski. Yeah. Wow. And then, yes, so I was in kindergarten. So that would be, it was usually 3rd grade and up could even qualify for Glee Club, but that's what it was.
So it was in you. I mean, that was.
But I had a solo by 4th grade, so
Wow.
hell yeah.
Natural born talent, then.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny that.
It saved my life. Look, my voice was this thing that gave me a reason to live, and it gave me a reason to desire, and it gave me a push. It pushed and pushed and pushed me enough to say, get out of your way, get out of your own way, which was half the battle always. You know,
So is that
we
a
live
good,
inside our heads.
Is that a good lesson for just all of us out here and you know, our audience in general? Is that just find what it is that kind of drives you and
That
pushes you,
passion.
that passion?
I know it sounds so trite because we say that all the time, but what it really is I have friends I have women in my life that have taught me how to become the greatest hosts, and I don't want to minimize all this, like, because guys, everybody has a gift at something. I don't care if it's, you know, how to set design. If somebody coming here technically, you know how many times I'm like, please God, send me a guy that knows how to plug in this amp or fix technically. I mean, everybody has a gift and knack and has some sort of they can inspire somebody next to them. And if you take that seed of whatever that could be and put some time and effort into it, and that's, you know, what God says, when you put your, you know, I'll support you. And that's what I believe in. That's truly the case. In my brothers, you know, I had this problem with my own siblings. You always knew what you wanted to do. You always knew this. I go, yeah, but there's no, you know, it's not like you got to go to college for it and can get a degree. You could, but it doesn't say that's going to make you famous. That's going to, I mean, now they have, like, they try all the time, but I'm just saying there was no guarantees in anything.
No.
But it's more than passion. It's also, you know, no is a big word in the world.
And it's also not always easy. Yes,
No,
you did
there's
very
not.
well, but
I don't
there
think
was
I'm still,
struggles.
guys. One word I can put out there. I mean, listen to J-Lo's. I mean, she hustles. She works.
Yeah,
we
she
hustle.
does.
We work. I work. I work for it.
But that's the game, is the hustle.
That is the game,
Yeah.
but that's in anything you do.
Right.
It
in
is.
my opinion.
Anything you do.
And I think you also have to have a lot of realistic ideas about yourself. Listen, I'm not, you know, and to perfect what you need to do. Like, so right now I'm reading marketing books. I'm reading more things on social media. I'm learning how to influence a little bit deeper because I didn't grow up in a generation of millennials where, like, Justin Bieber knew. Let me just keep putting out covers, and what did he have to lose? I have so much more to lose now because I feel like I built something so much more.
Right.
Whereas when you're young like that, you have all this time on your hands, and you know, you just feel like, hey, maybe this, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
It actually kind of frustrates me a little with some of the younger people that I work with in the business too, that they're just like kind of lackadaisical, and they're great. They're some of the most talented people, but I'm like, guys, we got to push now. This is where you got to push. You got to find
I
opportunities,
couldn't
create
agree more.
opportunities. Can't wait back.
I
and
do
wait
that
for
with
these
my
things
own
to come to
children.
you. Yeah.
Like a star, you think they're going to come to the door and offer you
No,
a
it's
contract.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
So this is a good tie-in for our next question, just to be a little more lighthearted here.
Yeah.
But, you know, look, you know, we're all getting older and we're all from different generations and everything. But with the comedian Tig Notaro, who came
I
out
love my
and
Tig.
did that whole joke, which has now become like an, you know, iconic story, not
Iconic
just
classic,
a
yes.
joke. And it's funny because we were joking,
Yeah.
saying that, like, I was like, guys, Taylor Dayne's coming on my podcast. And the people who were like a little older were like, oh my God, have her sing. And other people were like, just find out if the Tig story is real, you know?
Tig's story is so damn real.
But it's also it's funny because
Dude, she would hit me. Not that I even knew who she was. She if she caught me a night that I had 2 martinis, either it was 1 martini. You could always, my road manager would say, she's on 1. She had 2, 3. Shut it down. Call, you know, warning, Will Robinson. So she probably came up to me once if I was in Indochine or something like that. God knows. She's like, hi, Taylor. You know, and she'd probably talk like that.
Right.
Hey, I just want you to know. And she might have had a little cute smile. She's the cutest little damn thing. But I probably was like, oh, yeah? What voice? I could see myself. I mean, I could see her
My
just going
talking
like,
voice?
"Who the fuck is
Well,
this broad?" Like,
but we were
so.
but we were talking about that because regular people don't know how to approach celebrities. Like we think we know you, and that's why the story is so funny. Because
Oh, I went
it
right up
is-
to. I'm trying to think what actor it was. I don't even know if I was famous or not. But of course, you see them, you recognize them. You say, I'm like, "Oh my God, hi, how are you?" And then he goes, "Hi," and I go, "Oh shit,
You don't know
Oh, that's
me.
right. I saw you in a movie last night, and I just wanted to fuck you, but I couldn't." Now I realize, oh shit, it was a dream,
Wait,
a fantasy.
So what
Yes.
happens when you go from Taylor Dayne or Leslie Wonderman, right?
Leslie Wonderman,
Right?
The Ashkenazi
So true.
Jew
Right.
from
What
Baldwin.
happens when you go from that person
Yeah.
to Taylor Dayne backstage with Prince? Like, what is going through your head?
Well, what do you think's going through his head when he's one of the funniest men? What's going through my head is, at least by then I'd been to Montreux. I just got off the Michael Jackson tour. At least I'm a star. I know how to put my nails on. I know exactly how to wear, Versace and Gautier. And when, you're that young thing in front of them, and they're the ones that are getting so excited to see you. And I was just as starstruck as you might ever imagine.
Right.
And I was a bumbling idiot. I once said to Robert Palmer in an elevator, like playing in town, and my girlfriend looked at me and she goes, "You're an idiot." What do you mean playing in town? Of course he said playing in town. Like, why would you even say that to him? Like, it just goes on and on and on. Or I've had Robert Plant come up to me, see my mates say I need to, and he's got his hands. You can't really see right now.
Yeah.
He's got his hands. He's massaging my shoulder. I go, "Dear God, don't let this ever end. Don't let Robert Plant ever stop touching me." And I'm like, inside voice, inside voice.
Oh my God, that's
And
hilarious.
he's like, "Don't go back to London tonight." And I'm like, "Dear God, don't make that plane." Of course, private plane. I don't want to get in that
Wait,
private
Taylor,
plane.
you're never going to be able to leave because you got stories, and I want to
I
listen
do
to
got
them
the stories.
all
It's
day
in the book.
long.
A lot of them are in my book.
It's all in
but
the
yeah.
book, but this is a good tie back in just for the Tig story is to hit another pop culture. What do you bell?
That's luck
so to
and
speak.
love.
And now, like, to be
And
able
I need to hit
connect-
about 10 more.
Yeah, but it's not easy to do that. And for someone like her, who's a mega star and she's a
Yeah.
great comedian, to then connect your lore into her fan base, and then allow people to be like, oh, we discover your music through this other. I mean, social
Absolutely.
media. You can go on YouTube
greatest
right now,
thing.
watch her do that set 5 different times.
Yeah.
And now
And
anyone.
she talks about in interviews, too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if either you know Taylor Dayne already, you're like, great, or you don't, and you're like, who's that? I got to look it up.
What is
and
she
then,
talking
And
about?
you've just hit a whole other market of people.
Absolutely.
But I
that-
also love that she calls, like, Sarah Silverman got involved in that whole, like, it was like a whole thing.
But I'm her, and that's it. I would have been like, oh my God, she's there. I'm going over there again, and I'm going to say that again, and it's purposely going to be awkward.
I don't know how she went about it, but it definitely happened because God knows. When I was listening to it, I go, I could see me on Two Martinis saying that right to her face, like, which voice? I could see it. Totally.
All right, well, we're
Okay,
going to
let's
do
do it.
our fun game
Oh, let's do it.
today. Okay, so
And guys, I have no problem. If anybody you thought wanted a song, what song did anybody do a shout out for?
Shelter.
Really?
Come on.
So just the chorus part?
Yeah, please.
Honey, I'll be your shelter. I'll be the one to take you through the night. Whenever you need shelter, right?
Okay, okay.
I'll make everything all right. Make everything
Now
all
karaoke,
right.
come on.
Yeah,
Na 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 na
na, 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 na.
na 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 na.
Oh, yeah.
Na 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 na.
all right.
I got my
okay.
Daynettes,
Okay,
yes.
so the game, quickly, is a ballad with no love and no heart.
Jeez.
So because Taylor is known for songs that have love and heart in them, we're going to go through
Not
some...
hard on, heart in them.
We're going to go through some of these titles
Well,
and
I
get
had a
creative
little crush on her in
with,
high school,
with
so I mean,
changes. Yes,
that's
okay.
what they say.
So the first one is Tell It to My Blank. I have to, in my
I have to start this? Why
I'll
don't you
start.
guys
I'll
give
start.
me-
Mine is
Yeah.
hand.
Jack, you're playing too, by
I
the
got
way.
hand. Tell it to my hand.
Tell it to my hands.
Tell it to my face would be the obvious one. For
Jack,
me.
what do you got back there?
Oh man, I'm coming in cold.
Tell it to my ass.
All right, you won. Okay, can you sing that now?
Tell it to my ass. Tell me it's the only one.
Ah, yes.
This
that's a
ain't
good
really
one.
love, it's just my game. Oh, yeah.
Okay, next is I Will Always
Well,
You.
this is Tig's song. I will always stop you.
Okay.
I will always stop you. I will always love you. Let's see. I will always be there.
You. No, you got.
You.
There's. I will
You.
always blank you.
I will always blank.
I will always blank you.
You're just leaving me up for these terrible FUs and things like that.
All right, go to the next
All
one.
right, go to the next one. Blank will lead you back. Now I put that one on the internet, and I got tacos will lead
Food.
you back.
Food will lead you
Dogs.
Food, Subways, meatballs,
But
my
as-
sauce.
As your PR person, I suggest Google Maps will lead you back.
Google Maps.
Because then you could get a sponsorship deal.
This is true. Or yeah, Waze.
Try
Waze
that. Try that one.
God. wait.
Google Maps.
Waze will lead me back.
Yeah.
Google Maps.
It's too many syllables, isn't it? Damn.
All right, what about this one?
Waze
Ready?
will lead you back. I think that works better.
What did you say?
Waze.
Waze. Oh,
okay.
you see, Google.
Okay.
You see, good one.
Okay.
What about this
Google
one?
Maps will lead you back.
All right, how about all you need is
blank.
Blank.
How is that my song?
No, this is just we're doing.
Now we're throwing Beatles in my mix?
Yes, now we are.
Yes.
Sorry.
All you need is a pair. All you need is all you need is kicks. I like my kicks.
Wait, you did. Wait, with every beat of my.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about that one? With every beat of my.
With every beat of my with every beat of my boo, I keep getting closer to you. Ooh.
This better come out as a Christmas album next
Well,
year.
I don't
I
know.
have latkes will lead you back for a holiday song.
She's stretching it.
Vodka.
Vodka will lead you
Vodka
back.
will lead you
Vodka
back.
will lead-
Vodka
you back.
leads you back. Yes, that's
When
true.
what about when a man
Blank a woman.
blank a woman? Jack. Makes
Jack is a musician. Well, he's in a
All
band.
I'm doing, kids, in the studio right now is turning my head to this guy, giving him a face like everything is just a big, yeah.
When a man
Blanks
spanks.
a woman.
Spanks.
When a man spanks a woman is for sure.
Please, I will parody that. That's mine.
No doubt.
Oh my God. So all right, here's one. Ready? Rename the band Heart.
Ooh, soul.
Soul. Live, laugh.
Why does all roads lead to fuck?
I don't know. It's like
Wait,
Live,
what?
laugh, live, laugh. What is it? Love normally?
Yeah.
Live, laugh,
Lust.
party, luck. Live, laugh, party.
Okay, wait. I got to throw this out there. My wife and I had this
I'm not
argument.
failing.
You're not
No,
failing
you're
at all.
not
terribly
failing.
at
You
this
can't
game.
fail.
We're writing this down, and we're gonna. commission
Please
you
don't
to-
make jokes with this one.
Okay,
The
sorry.
only joke is she sucks. Go ahead.
No, are you kidding me? So my wife and I were like, when this all came to be that you were going to be here, right? I started going. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I was like, I love the song "Everything Changes" by Taylor Dayne, and she was like.
It's
Taylor
not by
Dayne
Taylor
didn't
Dayne.
sing that song. I was like, listen to the song, and she sounds like you. So A, you didn't sing that, but B,
No.
like, how do you feel about that as far as like people who come along that do sound like you and that kind of take off of that?
Oh my God, that was Kathy Tricoli.
Tricoli, right.
And Kathy was a wonderful, lovely friend at the time, and also Kathy also was did a lot of background vocals for me.
Oh,
Oh,
see?
really?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's funny.
There was a method to that madness. Yeah, of
That's
course.
crazy.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's all connected. It's all
It
connected.
kind of
Yeah.
is.
Oh my
for
gosh.
Sure.
All right, so the winning song in there, I'm going to go with Tell It to My Ass.
Tell it to my ass is definitely.
think
or
that
s-
kinda
no,
works.
the
Jack?
spank one. Or,
No,
when
that
a man
was mine.
spanks
No,
a woman.
I liked her
When a
Tell It.
man spanks a woman.
I really think
Yeah.
You know I
That's
do
not
that.
bad.
I do parody songs, so I'm definitely going to do that.
That's
I'm just
that's your
letting you
girl.
know.
Your girl came up
There
with
you go.
that. Tell it to my ass isn't bad either.
I like that a lot.
I think you can go with it.
I
Boo.
think that is huge.
I know it's huge.
Taylor.
It could be huge. It could be
Depends on if you work out or
bulbous. It
not,
could
yeah.
be flat. It could be. That's the whole beauty of it.
God, this is a genius idea.
Yes, it
I'm
should be
writing
all
this.
shapes and
This
sizes.
is a
I'm writing this,
viral
Jack.
social moment for
Is
you.
it?
Yep.
Amen.
So on that note, do you have social handles you'd like to give our audience?
Oh, I'm the real Taylor Dayne. Wherever you look, verified, all that on Twitter. Taylor Dayne. I guess Facebook is just Taylor Dayne, or the real Taylor Dayne. That would be Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. And then for your tour information, they should
It's
go.
all links. Go if you go to Instagram, you can write in the bio. There'll be links straight to my tour page. There's a tree there, link tree, and you'll get a write up and everything. But all the tour dates will be listed on that. Or just go to TaylorDayne.com and for any tour dates.
And the book is everywhere. Barnes
Book
and
is
Noble,
also, yeah.
Amazon.
Amazon for most, for
And
sure.
did I hear you say that on your site that you sell it and they can get autographed?
I will autograph it. Yes.
Yeah.
On our merch page, there's autographed. There's actually lyrics. There's actually written and signed lyrics. There's a lot of fun stuff up there. Yeah.
Okay, and I
a
just
little more personal.
for everyone who knows Taylor and loves her hair from the 80s, 90s, her hair is still it's still on fleek.
pretty.
It's still
Okay,
down.
my hair. It just feels like very 90s today, doesn't it?
It does, but it's natural.
It's very Love Will Lead You Back video.
You need
This
to
is
do
very
the
lovely.
crimp
Lead you back?
next week.
I will.
Full
Crimp.
crimp hair.
I'm gonna
I'll
crimp
crimp
my hair.
too.
Honey, you got to get a wig for that. It's just
Your
a
hair
lot
wasn't
of
it all
work.
your hair?
Hell no.
I was gonna
I think
say,
it was a mix of India, Italy, my hair. Could you imagine?
All right. Well, this has
Some of
been
it.
fucking amazing.
It only took, like, this has been maybe my most fun interview so far in this whole venture.
Well,
Thank you, guys.
I mean,
This has been
we always
so
say
wild.
we have first person who sold 75 million albums. First,
Okay, let's throw albums and singles in there so I don't feel
Singles.
so
Albums
like,
and singles.
you know, I still get I'm like, oh, let's just inform them correctly. Yes.
yeah.
Well, this has just been fun, and you're just so easy to talk to, and it's so great to like connect back to just your music and just our youth and New York,
Yeah.
and
Girl.
everything.
I married a Long Island boy. Brian's from Long Island.
Oh.
He's
you ever take your kids to Splish Splash?
water park?
No.
Oh,
All right.
his sister runs it, so
Now,
it's
they're
our-
not kids. Let's get this straight. They're 18. They're
yeah,
like
they're over that.
They
now.
live in LA. For them, they live in a theme park.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like happy
They're-
campers.
they have
They go to
friends-
They go to haunted. What is it? Hollywood Horror Nights. You see Ellen puts that on her show.
Yes.
That's what they do to
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to get like crazy. And I'm like, put me in a hoodie, wrap it up. I mean, we got the purge coming. I'm like, ah! It's so real. It's crazy.
All right. Well, thank you. Many
Thank
many
you.
thanks for coming on
What's
our
our
show.
social,
guys.
Brianna?
Jobs Glow podcast.
You always say it like
website.
you're not sure.
I
Jobs
know,
Glow
because you always
Podcast?
throw it at me and I get nervous.
Okay, Jobs Glow Podcast, jobsglowpodcast.com, at Brianna.
No, Brie Haas one.
Brie Haas one. I don't even
On
know that. Wow.
Instagram.
I'm Mr. Josh Hyman at everything.
And Jack is back, everyone.
Jack is back.
Jack is whack.
Taylor Dayne is.
I'm
Jack, we
honored.
missed you, man. We
Taylor
missed
Dayne
you.
just called me whack.
It just rhymed since we were in that
right.
mood.
That's true.
This has been awesome.
Wait, Jack didn't give us his
Oh, give me your.
My social handles with no pictures on them. JBrick44, and then do the band one, which is Manta Music.
Yeah,
Man
check
to
it out.
music.
He does all the engineering on the show, and it's
The
been
awesome
top-notch.
editing.
So thank you guys so much.
Taylor,
Brianna,
can we use some of your music in
On the
our intro and outro of
outro?
our shows?
I hope so.
All right.
All right.
What do you want to go out on? What do you want
What
to
should
go
we go
out
out on?
You could sing us out
Can't
into
do
it.
tell it to my ass.
No. Do.
I like the nanas.
Go. You want to just do it again?
Na na
Na,
na
na,
na 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 na.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
I'm too fly for my suit and tie, and I'd rather die than work 9 to 5. And I'm too fly for my suit and tie, and I'd rather die than work 9 to 5. And that's why I don't wanna go to work. I just wanna chill and play all day. Look 'em dead in the face and say, I wish I could just be still asleep while you work.